I don't believe the rule, as you read, addresses this issue. I don't think that it was a personal message, that it was obscene or profane. What they have on the back of their shirts is an organizational name, much the same as other people have come before us with organizational names on their shirts. Councilmember Leitz pointed out the Northwest Homeowners Association. I don't know if we could craft a rule that would pass constitutional muster. We may not agree with the message. We may personally find it offensive. If someone were to appear here with a shirt that said KKK and had a burning cross on the back, a lot of people would find that offensive. But I don't know if we could ban it. People have been in this council chambers with T-shirts on that said, "This is the face of apathy, voter apathy." Where one crosses the line, I think what the evil, so to speak, that we were trying to address, or whomever drew up that rule, was people politicking from the podium for a particular political candidate during election time. I think that the genesis of this was when Councilmember Brandt had a lot of his supporters in the audience with T-shirts with his name on them. A clear political message to vote for Councilor, at that time, candidate Pete Brandt. I think the rule that we have is an outgrowth of trying to prevent that from happening. I have difficulty banning or preventing people from appearing before us with a shirt that has an organizational name or even a message. I mean, there are a lot of people that appear with shirts for various sports teams and other things. I don't think the rule that you cited, as much as I would rather not have our decorum interrupted, it would be nice if everybody wore plain white shirts and green and silver striped ties. But I don't think we could force that type of dress code. And, I just don't think that the rule that we have addresses what the mayor wants to do. And as I said before, I think it would be very difficult to craft one that would pass constitutional muster that did. So, I would support the motion.
Councilmember Leitz.
Thank you, Mayor. And with all due respect, sir, you made a comment that the rules weren't clear previously. I would assure you, sir, that they were clear, and in December when council rules were updated, this rule, this paragraph was not changed, sir. It remains intact from years previous. So what we as a council have been following for 15 months under this particular paragraph is still the same, and it's unchanged. Thank you, sir.
Councilmember Leitz, I would beg to differ with you. If you go back and you look at the old set of council rules, you will see that there's a reference in Roman numeral 4 to political and so on and so forth. That's in there. It's not in this one. This one, in my opinion, is clear. But also, there's Roman numeral 5, which is refused to follow the instructions of the mayor or the city council and comply with these policies and other rules governing the council's proceedings. Councilmember Brandt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As I recall, nobody with one of my shirts attempted to come up to the podium and talk, but if they did and were asked to leave or not do that, I'm sure they obeyed that. But I think the message to me is personal and is clear. They want to ban under God out of the Pledge of Allegiance, and they want to insist that we do it that way. And you guys are arguing about First Amendment rights. It seemed to me they want to stifle some rights that I think we have to use under God. So the shoe's on the other foot as far as I'm concerned, and I am fully in favor of limiting the use of this particular shirt in front of the podium. Thank you.
Councilmember McGrail.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I wanted to call for the vote on this question because you will clearly see what the intention of council is. Thank you.
Anyone else have anything else to say? Madam City Clerk, please read the motion.
The motion is to allow John Kiefer to speak in his current attire.
Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
McGrail,
Aye.
Sullivan,
No.
Brandt,
No.
Shalaka Sleets,
Aye.
Diley,
Aye.
Donnell, Keene, McLean, 6 ayes, 2 nays, motion carries.
Mr. Mayor, I would ask that we take a 10-minute recess, and when we re-adjourn with the gentleman that was removed as our first public citizen input.
I agree. Let's make it 20 minutes, though, instead of 10.
Thank you, sir.
Please come up and be prepared to speak. John Kiefer, Jonathan Best, Joe Reinhardt, Gail Murphy, Summer Schutte,
Y'all can hear me? Okay, here we go. Thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is John Kiefer. I'm the president of Atheists of Florida. What happened this evening was somewhat unexpected. I'm appalled. I'm shocked. Over 40 years ago, I was an infantryman in Vietnam, up on the DMZ with the 5th Infantry Division, 1st Battalion, 61st Infantry Mechanized. I faced death every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I didn't know a Monday from a Sunday, a Saturday from a Thursday. I didn't think I was going to make it back. But I was there in the rain. We didn't go back. We stayed out there for up to 30 days at a time, in the rain, mosquitoes, people running over landmines, RPGs, 82-millimeter mortars. And you know why I did it? I did it for this country. I did it for the U.S. Constitution, to protect and defend the U.S. Constitution. And sometimes it's a thing that you got to do all your life. I'm here to defend and protect the Constitution, the First Amendment. Now, you may not agree with my worldview, but we're all Americans. We all have a right to our worldview. I may answer questions of ultimate concern in a completely different way than somebody else may. Where do we come from? What's right and wrong? What's the meaning and purpose of life? What happens after you die? I have answers to those questions, and they're very important to me, and I live my life by those questions. As an atheist, I'm a minority. I'm a civil rights minority. In fact, according to statistical surveys, we are the most hated minority in this country. People don't like us being, if we're going to be atheists, we've got to remain quiet. Well, I'm not going to remain quiet. When the government gets involved with promoting one particular religion over all others, or one particular way of answering questions of ultimate concern over all others, I'm going to stand up and speak. I did a little research before coming to this meeting here tonight and looked at the last year's worth of people that came up here. You had people with Red Sox shirts on. You had people with community organization shirts on. You had people with wearing crucifixes. You had people wearing just about a Ford, of all things, Ford Motor Products, hats and shirts. So to single me out because I have an American flag that says One Nation Indivisible and the organization name Atheists of Florida, I was really appalled. We had come here originally to speak about the Ten Commandments issue. That was several weeks ago. And then, of course, about the invocation. I do have to say on that note, I appreciate the moment of silence that you all had today. That's what we recommend that you do, is a moment of silence. Because not everybody prays the same way. Not everybody thinks about their questions of ultimate concern in the same way. Again, I'm still a little bit amiss as to what happened, but I do appreciate the council's vote to allow me to come back in. With all due respect, we're all Americans, but you have to accept me as an atheist. I am just as an American as you are, and I fought for my right to do so. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Best. I live in the North Cape. So I'm a Cape Coral resident, and I'm spokesman for the Free Inquiry Group of Southwest Florida, which is a local atheist group, as well as being a member of Atheists of Florida. So this is my city, and these are my, and this affects me directly. So I didn't trip in from anywhere. This is really my place. And as I'm also supposed to be represented here, just like my fellow non-religious citizens of Cape Coral. If statistics are anything to go by, 15% of Americans, as of the last 2008 survey, identified themselves as non-religious. So given our current estimates of Cape Coral population, if we're anything like the rest of the nation, there's about 24,000 non-religious citizens in Cape Coral, also needing to be represented at city council meetings. I wanted to talk a little bit about some issues that were raised last time I was here in December when we were talking about prayer. I want to mention my wife is a Mormon. I'm actually married to a Mormon, even though I'm an atheist, which means we have a great many different views about a lot of different things. But we remain focused on what matters most, which is providing a happy home for our children. One thing we don't do is start each day with a 30-second prayer or a 30-second discussion about the statistical irrelevance of prayer. That would not help us in our goal to provide a happy and constructive home for our children. So I really, truly have to applaud council for the moment of silence today. I thought that was wonderful. And I can say, as somebody who's non-religious, who lives in the city, I feel represented if you're doing a moment of silence. And I don't see anybody that would feel that they were not being represented if you're doing a moment of silence as opposed to a prayer. So I applaud you for that. Thank you very much. I wanted to mention, some people thought last time I was here that maybe praying a generic prayer would include people, that somehow non-religious people could see it somehow as representing them, which I thought was an interesting idea. I think that's similar to thinking that somebody who doesn't drink alcohol would maybe prefer a beer rather than hard liquor. They simply don't drink, and that's the point here, is that we don't support one over the other. We just get on to business. So I applaud you for that. And allowing us to wear the shirts, I had a lot to say on that I just don't have anything to say anymore, except thank you, council, for defending our rights as citizens of this country and our First Amendment rights. Thank you.